family and Valor people, thank you so much for chiming in to Intimate Conversations. Intimate Conversations is where we bring our guests on to tell awesome stories. Stories is a big thing of the African American, Black American culture, and these stories are here to inspire, motivate, or encourage you to be your better self. And today my guest is my dear, very good friend, sister, girlfriend, loving, kind mother, Evangelist. I have to get used to this. Evangelist Alicia McKinney. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Yes.
And nervous.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know.
Oh.
I was just, oh what? I'll be talking to all these people, Lord. What do you want me to tell them?
And that's why she's here. So Alicia, just to let you know, she has 5 boys, 1 girl, correct? 5 boys, 1 girl. You've been married twice?
Been married twice.
Currently you're single. Okay. We have a history. We've known each other for over about 20 years, at least.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Right or bad?
Well, our boys are the same age, so maybe about 23.
Maybe 25.
25? Yeah, because I think they were like 3.
Yeah, they were young. Yeah, about 2.
Yeah, and we also met in the nation, and so now she's an evangelist in Christianity. Yeah. And you know, my thing is, there's more than one way to get to the number 8, so it don't matter.
Right.
But God has called her to become an evangelist, and we have a common bond. We've both been experienced domestic violence.
Yes.
As well. So she's working on her documentary project that will be coming out within, we hope, next year, called No More Hush. Do you want to speak a little bit about that before we get into our topic today?
Sure. No More Hush is a documentary that I am going to have with 5 women. Some of them married, some of them single moms, but we all have the same common goal, and that is to get through the rough times, better ourselves, show someone else the way if we can. And I'm really excited about that project because there are a lot of people who have had things happen to them and they are afraid to come out and say anything, and because they think that some still think that they did something wrong, and some just feel like you may look at them a different way.
Right.
So I want to let all the ladies out there, I don't care if you're purple, pink, blue, black, whatever, we're all women, and we're all going towards the same cause and the same goal, and that is to get healthy, mentally, physically, and when we are a better me or us, then we can always throw, I say, petals, flowers to the other women out there.
Yeah.
So yes.
And we were talking before we started. She was talking about, I love flowers, that's why I wear flowers. And she said, because we should be treated like a delicate flower. And so I made a little joke saying, does that include roses? Because roses have thorns.
And I said, exactly. Yeah. Because we do have thorns.
Yes.
If you pick us up the wrong way.
Yeah.
So
I'm super excited about the documentary. It's in the making, and so I think it's going to be powerful. I feel like God called you to your ministry of women, because I always say, when are you going to do something from the roster and be pastor? And she was like, no, not pastor, right? Evangelist. So
I'm working with that. I'm like, Lord, I ain't ready to pastor yet. Now I'm still rolling with this, but pastoring is a full-time thing, and I really my mission that God has given me when He gave me the vision of where He wanted me to go and things to do. I first got my calling when I was 18. And I ran the total opposite way. Wow. Because number one, I was raised in the church. My father's a minister. I've been church. And not that I don't love the Lord, but I wanted to, because being a minister's daughter, I didn't get to do all all the fun stuff that most people got to do. And so
I was missing something. Huh?
I really thought I was missing something. I wish I could do it again. Girl, don't do it. Don't do it.
And that's a great segue into our topic, because our topics are thugs, loving thugs to loving a thug for God.
Right.
You know, and I got that thing, thug, you know, the hate that you give, because when you're dealing with the thug, sometimes there is an undertone of hatred, self-hatred as women. Not always the fact, but there is something that attracts us to a thug. So we're not going to go into we're going to go into what we're looking for, what were we looking for when we were attracted to thugs? You know, what was that common thing? You may touch a little bit on some of the domestic violence, but not too much, because we want to save it for her documentary. No More Hush, remember, No More Hush.
Coming soon.
Yeah, so... you know, we go way back. I mean, our bond started, of course, in my first marriage, and she knew behind the scenes what was going on. In fact, when my daughter was like early. She came like almost a month and a half early. I had been on bed rest, and my ex-husband at the time was mad at me, so he wouldn't allow me to get a baby shower. So I had nothing. And so my daughter had came almost 2 months early, and Alicia, she called me and she was like, I'm coming over, I got you, what you need? And she came with diapers, babies. I mean, I get emotional today for that. I mean, you talk about a sister with a heart. This is your girl. She helped me with this last week, our background, which took us like almost 2 hours?
Yes, but I think we were laughing and giggling
and
joking.
That's why, and she's a perfectionist, so she is good at decorating and designing too. That's another one of her beautiful gifts. But yeah, she came and she and I was exhausted, and she watched the baby. You were there for like the whole weekend at least, weren't you? Watched the baby. She's like, I'm gonna take the baby, and I was like, but I'm nurse. She was like, I got this. I'll give her to you when she needs to eat. And she just, oh God, it was just amazing. I will always be indebted to you for that, Rose. Anyhow, let's talk about thugs. Let's talk about thugs, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Yes. Thugs. I don't know about you, but I guess for me, you dated a thug because, number one, that was the end thing.
Yes.
That was the end thing. And, you know, we had all these groups out, some of these rappers, NAA and oh my gosh.
Let's not forget Pac.
Oh, Pac. Absolutely.
I was going to marry Pac. Sorry, I was kidding. I was going to marry Pac. Pac was, woo, you thug life.
Right.
Something.
And, I don't know. And I guess for me, I was always in church. And trust me, I appreciate that more than ever right now. Right. But as a reverend's daughter, I was not allowed to go some places for my own protection, of course. But when you're young, you don't think about that. You know, you're like, so-and-so is gone, and so-and-so is like, well, I'm not so-and-so's mother or father. And I was like, well.
Was that like you couldn't go to house parties or anything like that?
No, I didn't go to house parties. I think I snuck off one time and went to a house party, Dad. And yeah, I paid for that because they started shooting in there and I was out of there.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God, it will be my luck that I get shot, you know. But that's what happens when you don't listen to your parents.
That's real.
But as for me, I guess because I was always around the church-going brother or, you know, man or whatever.
So why weren't you, or were you not attracted to the church-going men? Or was it just because it was something foreign and, you know?
I think it was because it was foreign, it was new. You know, they had all the movies and the videos, and it was like, I was like, oh, you just wait. I'm going to California when I turn 18. Still haven't made it to California yet.
We don't have to do a trip.
But yeah.
It's on your bucket list.
Right. And so, you know, for me, I just thought, you know, this is something outside of my box. I want to experience something outside of my box. And And I did. And oh boy, do I wish when my parents first met one of the individuals that I knew he was abusive. I didn't know at the time he was abusive,
Right.
but my father had told me, you need to get away from him. He's no good for you. And I was like, why? What's wrong with him? Nothing's wrong with him. He's just different. Yeah, he was way different.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that was my attraction.
Yeah. Mine was, so my really first love thug was, he happened to be a drug dealer. Gorgeous. His name was Swiss. He had the pretty light brown eyes, not dark, but he was like cinnamon cocoa, gorgeous. He could dance. He was also in a band, like he was, the bands were bigger back then, boy bands. Who did he tour with? He toured with Troop. He had toured with Troop, and they were up and coming. And oh man, he treated me like a queen. Never hit me, never. But he was he had a really bad temper. And the first time I ever seen a gun was with Swiss, and he pulled out a gun. And we had kind of like an open relationship. When he was in town, we was together. When he was out, we kind of, because he lived about 4 hours away from me. This was back in Ohio. But I love that power, that safety. Like, oh, nobody's gonna with me because I'm with Swiss. I'll get my man. And I love you. Break me off some cheddar, baby. Break me off some,
Right.
So and all the girls when I went to college, all the girls that I hung out with from Detroit, they were they're dated gang members, and they were super materialistic. So it was something in that power of having, it was something, and I think more so than it was them being a drug dealer, it was the power, that presence that they commanded, like, don't F with him, he'll, and he what he said he did, he'd do. He would never pull out a gun unless he was going to use it.
Right.
And he ended up, in prison. Of course, he got out, but yeah, that was my thing, and I was loving it.
Yeah,
but
I was too.
Dangerous.
It's very dangerous, and so, what I would like to prevent for our generation right now, it's so dangerous. Guns are very. It's very domain in our neighborhood, in our lifestyle, where we live, even the good girls that have this wonderful life and, their parents are six figures and, they still want to date
the bad boys.
The bad guy. And right.
Is it, you think it's like an opposites attract? Or
I do believe that part of it is opposites attract, because he used to always tell me, you're such a good girl. You go to church, you care about people, blah, blah, blah. I think it was he wanted me to rub off on him, and so
to make him better.
Right, to make him better, so that he won't continue to go down this crazy road. But the thing is that you can't change anyone
until they want to change.
They want to change themselves. And so I went into this thinking, I can change him.
Right.
He'll get better.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. That doesn't happen. It gets worse.
Right.
It gets really bad. And, I'm not saying everybody stays the same. No. Some people do change.
They do.
Some guys do change. But you can't go into a relationship saying, I don't like this about him, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, but I can change him. That is not the correct that's not the correct thoughts or the verbiage or any of that. It's not going to happen.
You got to accept them 100%, and I totally get that. I left Ohio to get away from this small town that was claustrophobic, and there was nothing but The Walking Dead as far as I was concerned.
Right.
And then I came here setting up shop, hoping that Swiss would come with me and we can build a life and do something different. He said he wanted to come, and of course he ended up dating some female and some other big time drug dealer from Detroit. They had a standoff, and he pulled a gun and killed him, and so he did some time, some serious time. So that was the end of that, but it didn't take away from that need to be with a bad boy.
Right.
And so I met my first husband. had a bank. I used to cash his checks.
Right,
They were quite small. But interesting enough, it was so funny. I was so intrigued by him. He was very reserved, very calculated, very to himself, very quiet. But he had a presence that everybody was afraid of him. They used to call him Tyson because he never really smiled, but he smiled a lot with me and he laughed. But he was very intimidating, and I love that because I always felt safe and everything. And so, but a lot of times, not always, those type of men, they end up having a lot of unresolved baggage and issues, and that unveils to a lot of insecurities and domestic violence and so forth. Not all, just some. Hence was based on my personal relationship.
Absolutely.
And I didn't, of course, I came in with my baggage, so you got two people popping heads. It's not a healthy relationship,
right? It really isn't. And you think it's for me, I thought it was, I felt honored. Like when he would be like, oh, is he looking at you? Or
yes,
blah, blah, blah.
yes, that overprotectiveness.
Right, I was like, oh no, honey, he's not looking at me. I was like, oh my God, quit looking at me, But then I would be like, why do you do that? Why are you so
possessive?
Right, possessive. What I chopped a lot of that up to be is that for me, in my experience, it was because their mother, it was a mother issue. Whether she was there and she really wasn't there, or if she was there and she was just in and out of the picture and the grandmother was the one that was picking up the slack. He wanted the motherly love. I noticed that he loved me, hugging him. And
that nurturing.
Yeah, that nurturing.
And you're very motherly and nurturing. That is a big characteristic that I do love about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he really, the two that I ran into, that's what they were looking for. And, I was not a bad looking chick, I could hang with the bigger, but I was very quiet. I wasn't loud. I wasn't as outspoken as I am now. But I think that a lot of it has to do with the family. Right. And, I'm going to just keep it real, and this is my opinion. Yeah. The black family was broken down. And the only way that the mothers could actually get some help was if the black man was not in the home. And so therefore, we fell upon, the woman had to take care of these people if they got government assistance, but they still had to go out and work and this and try. We had hats, many hats that we wear. And I just think a lot of that, and then the streets get them. Yeah. The streets get them. And they say, we're your family. We love you. We care about you. And they, it's the hood. It's a hood thing. Right. But
it's a love thing. And at one point, not all gangs were bad. They were very communal. Right. It was something, they did to have a sense of belonging. Right. And you're a young man and you see your mom struggling, you're like, I want my mom struggling. Right. But I want to go to school and college. So they turn to drugs.
They turn to drugs. They turn to being out on that corner, making it happen. And even when they would bring money home to the mother, it was like a slap in the face. Because she would be like, I'm out here breaking my neck, working 2 jobs, and you're going to insult me. They think that they're helping, but it's actually an insult.
Some mothers.
That's true.
They do support that. They be like, hey, he helping me and I'm getting all the nicest things. And again, that's the family structure being bad. Well, he's the man of the house now, so he need to take care of me. I took care of you. Right.
And so, they turn into this bad guy, and I haven't been around that. I never was around that, so I was like, I'm about to date a thug. I thought I was doing something, okay? Honey, come to find out, it was one of the worst decisions I ever made in my life. It was really.
So did you just date one thug, or did you date a few thugs before you know how first you scrape your knee, you don't really think about it.
Right.
Stub that toe.
Right.
You know, like now I pulled a hamstring.
Right.
Oh, damn, I done broke a leg.
Right.
I got it now.
Right.
I mean, like, how many times did it take?
Right.
Before you said,
You know what?
I don't want this anymore.
For me, I'm a pretty quick learner.
So you just scraped your knee.
So no. The first time I dated too. The first time it was more like a scrape with the knee, or I kicked something and hurt my toe.
Yeah.
But the second time, oh no, that was a whole man. That was like I was in a body cast. I was in a body cast really, because it was the worst experience that I ever had in my life, and then I almost lost my life behind that.
Yeah.
So if you really want to be with a thug and you want to be with an OG, the only OGs I know are dead, or we're talking about the real OG, God.
Original.
God's the original OG.
Right.
And that's where I began to turn my life and start to learn my self-worth actually after the experience of going through it and then going into the nation where I met you.
Right.
And in the nation, we had an awesome sisterhood.
Yes, we did.
We were all very, very close.
Yeah.
We were very close.
Wherever you seen one, you seen another.
Yeah.
We spent most of our times together. So
We did.
Yeah.
We did. We learned a lot of stuff together. I still carry a lot of the nation's teachings with me, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not in a box. I'm not just a Christian.
Yeah, I'm a Christian too.
Right.
I grew up in the church, so I cannot deny that part of me. I'm like you. I went to church 4-5 days a week, and I went because I wanted to.
Right.
Nobody made me go.
Yeah.
So, when you searching, but you got to be wherever you flourish the most. Like I said, there's more than one way to get to the number 8.
Right. Absolutely, and I agree. And so, with that being said, I still, I don't categorize myself. I'm a child of God, and whoever's a child of God, then I'm with it. I don't care what religion it is, what background you have, because at the end of the day, it's only one God.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So, because I know we're probably going, from the thugs to the thug for God. And we're not like literally saying thug, but just switching gears. So I have a very good friend. She's my best friend. You'll probably get to meet her in a couple weeks. But she always says, man, I can't, she tells me about these guys that she dates. And to me, they're just not worthy. Like, they don't have jobs. They're like petty ass drug dealers. And my whole thing, if I'm going to go with a drug, I'm going to go hard. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I ain't going to get no pedal. You wear and sell a little weed and we go out and you can't even pay for me.
Right.
So I don't even understand that language. But anyhow, these guys that she dates are just horrible. And there's this one particular guy that I really wish he would step up. And she showed me, he's good looking, takes care of himself. He's a business owner. But she was like, I don't know. And I said, why don't you get out of your own backyard and see what kind of man you can, that's out there for you. And she goes, well, I just like the tattoos and I like thugs and I don't know why. I don't know why I'm like that, but I like that. And I was like, you can still like that same type of man and energy. Right. Just get someone who's got something going for himself. You know what I'm saying? And when you've never been out of your backyard, you don't know. There could be someone that can match your vibratory rate. That's perfect for you. Right. But until you get out of that, that same, all you see, like she was like, yeah, I was in a club and this guy was trying to talk to me and he had no teeth. And I said, my first thought was, well, what club was you in where there's a man with no teeth? Obviously, that was a low-ranking club, like a hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna
get yourself together before you go out.
Exactly. Like, did you see Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
Girl, that was one of my Tyler Perry. You did that, okay? That was one of my favorite movies.
Okay, so you remember the part where the lawyer and the drug dealer were face to face. And he was like, if you don't get me off you gonna regret it. And he said, I can't remember the character's name, but we'll say his name.
No, that wasn't Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yes,
I don't think.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, he said, if you don't get me off, you.
Oh, yeah.
He said,
okay.
you'll regret it. He said, don't let this suit fool you. Brother.
Right.
You know? And so my whole point is, there's lawyers, doctors, professors, all of them have that, that presence of a thug mentality. They're going to take care of you, make you feel safe, so you can be the woman that the greatest version of yourself as a woman.
That's right.
And they're out there. I know, because I got one.
Yay!
But it took me 43 years to find them, but I got one. My whole point is, the type of man that I like has not changed. It's just evolved to be a better man.
Exactly.
And so what is your advice on how do you find that? Because some people, they're like, like I've heard women like, yeah, there's good men in church, but they're all taken and the other ones are gay. Or, something like that. And we're not going to that realm, but you see what I'm saying? And, or you could be in the nation, there's some good brothers, but they're all married or they're brand new and I don't want to get with a baby, and you really don't want to be in there 30 years and get with someone 2 years. That's just not equally yoked.
Right.
And, so I want you to address that because there's a gap. How do we close that gap to change our perception that, that there's men out there? I cannot. I know women say there's no good black men. If you're if that's all you date is black men. Some women date all men. I'm not going past the brown man. That's just me. But my whole point is there's no good man out there. So I'm going to take what I can get. Again, this is another thing. My son's father, his brother's mother, back about 15 years ago. I was like, why do you put up with him? He's not about nothing, X, Y, and Z, because, we used to talk. And she goes, well, I'd rather have a little piece of man than no man at all. And I just thought, wow.
Right.
So help me to elaborate. How do we close that gap that you can attract the right man with the characteristics that you want?
First of all, you have to attract what you show as yourself.
Ooh.
Now, ladies, come on. Sometimes we are going to attract whatever we are.
Water seeks its own level.
Exactly.
Break that down a little bit more.
Okay.
Talk about that.
Ladies, first of all, I'm into clothes. Okay? I don't care designer or not. If it look good and I like it, I'm gonna wear it. Okay? But ladies, you can't go out showing half of your chi-chis, okay? They're all out. Your bottom's all out, and you think, oh, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna attract this man. I want this type of man. I want a businessman. I want a family man. I want this. I want that. I'm not saying that just because you dress like that, you know what, that's all you can get is a thug. But what I'm saying, the first person that's gonna look at you is a thug.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get away from that mentality, you have to begin to take a little bit more pride in your appearance. You have to begin to, you don't have to, okay, you ain't got the money to go to the store, go to the beauty salon and do your hair. Guess what? YouTube is amazing. Let me tell you, get on there, learn them hairstyles, learn what to do. For real, it's free. Ladies, start taking care, loving you.
Yeah.
You have to love you before you can love anybody else.
Good. I want to camelback on that because external appearance is really important. That's your first attraction. However, I want you to go deeper because, and I think you were headed that way. And this is something I'm putting in my book and this is how you learn to get out of that vicious cycle. Because you said it happened to you twice. So you were a victim. You survived it, and then you became a victim again.
Yes.
And then you survived it, and then you came in, and so you go back from victim to survivor, victim to survivor, victim to survivor. Then it was like, boom, you hit a brick wall. And now it's got to go deeper than just the physical appearance. So my thing, when you mentioned it just now, is love yourself. Because even in the nation, you know, we put on these garments, these elaborate garments, we're covered. So we ain't showing all of that. But if your mind is still not healthy and it's dirty and it's in the gutter, and however you want to interpret that, you know, I'm not saying you got to be like, I'm doing things that are wrong. I'm just saying if you don't have good self-worth going on here, you're still going to attract that same type of person, but they're just going to be a reflection of someone who looks good in a bow tie and a suit. That's right. Someone who goes to, you see them always going to the mosque or always going to the church. Then when y'all get together, they stop going. They stop praying. They stop doing all, like, what happened?
You're exactly right.
What happened? Y'all thought you was a soldier. I mean, and you could take a whole year and date in court. Because it's easy to send your present, as my better half says, we always send our presentation first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's easy, so it don't matter. But if you are not spiritually balanced and loving yourself, it don't matter how much Maybelline, what is it, Jimmy Choo's, gold earrings, that when that comes off and the real you comes out, you still attract the thug. That's right. The bad boy.
That's right.
The gangster. And that is applicable, like we're using this interchangeably as someone that is not equal to you.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, one of the problems is that once we do get out of that bad relationship, we don't take time out for self.
Oh, talk about that.
We don't take out time for self. So you have to take out time for self. First of all, you've been drugged through the mud. You know, our ancestors, now we had some issues. You know, we really got through some issues. When I say we had issues, we got through those issues. We were able to survive being raped and beaten. And then if you were in your slave quarters, the man that was supposed to be your husband, he didn't really want to touch you anymore because a white man had touched you. He felt violated. He felt like he couldn't do anything because every time that man came, and then he did come every night and knock on that door when he had a nice little prissy old wife up at the top in her little cozy bed, he was coming down to the slave quarters. Okay? So what we have to understand with self-love, we've been through so much, and it begins to be like a snowball. Yes. You know, it starts out little, you know, and then it goes on to the next mother and the next mother and the daughter and the mother and the daughter and the mother. And the next thing you know, you have this big old ball. And it has all these issues in that snowball. But how do you get rid of those issues?
You gotta chip away a little bit at a time.
Gotta chip away at it a little bit at a time. And even if you put it under the sun being God.
There you go. Come on, sister.
If you put it up under the sun, he is going to melt all of those issues away. Now, when we're not talking about no voodoo or black magic or whatever y'all are about to say.
And we ain't talking about overnight.
Right.
You got 30 years of drama.
That's right.
It's going to take some time. It may take a couple years, 3 years, 5 years, but it's going to take some time.
It's going to take some time. And it actually took me about 20 years.
I would say mine's from 2003 to 2014, 11. Yeah. But I was aggressively working at it.
Right.
Like I got to a point where I was like, I'm single. I'm investing 100% in LaDios. That's it. You know?
And that's what you have to get, because you yourself, inner self, you have to go back to the beginning. You have to go back to the beginning.
And what's that beginning? Take it there.
You have to go back again to self-love. First of all, God is love. John 3:16 said, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son."
Call it out, good.
So whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So first of all, you have to go back to the rock being God. Okay, you have to go to him and you have to pray, and you have to say, Lord, I have all these issues. You don't have to go with in a certain way, like, okay, I gotta memorize this prayer because this is the only prayer that God is gonna hear. God knows yourself. You can't hide anything with him. Even if you break down and you're, honey, I was there. Trust me. Down, snotty. Just a mess. But God had to get into my inner spirit, and I had to start having self-love. So guess what? When I came home, I had alone time.
Right.
I had me time. I put the kids to bed. I did what I needed to do, and then I had me time. And that me time concentrated on what do I do to improve myself, so that I can put in the values that I am looking for.
Right.
I'm looking for those values.
Right.
And I'm sure they want the same thing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
But you can't be desperate.
I'm so glad you said that, because women will be like, I want a man who got good credit. I want a man who makes 6 figures. I want a man who got this, that. However,
yes,
you ain't a reflection of what you say you want.
That's right.
You got bad credit. You got a car. You barely got a job. You want somebody who work out, but you don't even go to the gym.
Right.
You don't walk across the street.
Right.
So I think that we definitely need to be a reflection of what we say we want. And so, do you find that when you thought you were ready, you go and attract someone and it's kind of the same mentality? What do you do in that instance? Because some people get discouraged, like, men just ain't no good. All men is dumb. They ain't SHIT, you know. So what is that? What do you think is the message there?
First of all, like I said, number one is self-love. Number two, let me go back and rephrase that. Number one is loving God and letting God love on you.
Thank you.
Number two is loving yourself.
Right.
And you have to take time out to get yourself together. And sometimes you might meet a man and you'll be like, oh, I met a guy and he's this and he's that. Give it 90 days, ladies. 90 days.
Yes.
Because in 90 days, that man is good. You're going to see the true being of that person.
Right.
But before you can even get there, you have to take out time for self and with God. For me, the healing process was 2 years.
Yeah.
I didn't date anybody for 2 years.
Right.
Like, I was done. Like, don't look at me. Don't ask me for my telephone number. None of that, because I had been beaten. It was just such a horrific experience for me. I had to take out time and stop just jumping and accepting anybody that comes your way. Oh, he's looking at me. He likes me. You can't do that, ladies.
Yeah, we get impatient.
We get very, very impatient.
So we make bad choices.
That's right. We make bad choices.
Blame it on God. Say all men ain't stuff.
Right.
But that is. And sometimes I don't think there's no mistakes. Even with my second husband, we were literally married for 10 months. But let me tell you something. In all honesty, low-key, I seen the signs. But I did not hear to the signs. Because I got tired of waiting. That
right there. That part, guys. That part.
I got tired of waiting. But you reap what you sow.
Right. You absolutely do. And when I met her husband, your husband was very nice looking.
He was my man is fine. He was gorgeous.
He was.
And I've always dated. I'm a little superficial, but I've always dated gorgeous men. He was gorgeous. He
was a very nice looking man.
Yes.
But I would say this, when I met him, and I thank God for this every day, because some people freak out about this when I say this, but God gave me very good discernment.
Yes.
And he also shows me things in visions. Now, I don't know, because my mother is Indian. My father was black. So my mother, when she came here to Colorado, she actually came from a reservation.
So, just a small correction.
Okay.
So, just for equity, inclusion, diversity, we don't say Indians, we say indigenous.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
So the Indians are like literally from India, and then like we don't even try to say Native Americans. They don't like it. Some
Yeah,
of them
I don't like that either.
Yeah, so we definitely say the indigenous. So
Okay.
yeah, I just want to put that in there because everybody's learning these terminologies. So
definitely
please know we're not trying to offend any of our indigenous brothers and sisters.
Absolutely not, because I love them, because I am one of them.
Yeah.
But my whole thing being, you have to just have, oh God, what am I saying?
So you were saying you have a power of discernment, and you were talking about the backgrounds of your parents.
Right.
So
Okay,
you're
thank you.
Yes.
I kind of lost my thoughts.
I'm
y'all.
listening.
It happens to
It's called
everybody.
active listening. Yes.
It's called sun-timers. Sometimes you remember, sometimes you don't.
Or God travels at 24 billion miles per second.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But when I met your husband, your ex-husband, that's the first thing that I picked up. That was the absolute first thing, that you were not safe.
Yes.
That you were, she was not safe. And I watched his mannerisms.
Yes.
And I could see it. It was so crystal clear to me. And I was like, oh my God. And I told you, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I told her. I said, oh my God. Oh, he reminds me of Rocky. Please be careful. And
are you talking about the first one or the second one?
the second.
Okay. Okay, yes. We won't say his name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But you said that about the first one too.
Huh?
You said that about the first one too.
What?
That he reminds you of Rocky.
Oh.
Yeah, the first one. But that was like a kind of an obvious one.
Right. But this one was, I mean, you could just feel the danger. You could I could feel it. Like even if I go into some place, sometimes even now, always, I can go into an atmosphere and pick it up immediately.
Right.
But the thing is that when you come out of a situation like that, first of all, attracting, let me go back to that. You want to attract what you put off. You see what I'm saying? You're going to attract what you put off. So ladies, I'm just saying, everything that you want in a man is everything a man wants in you.
Yep.
Okay? So that means you have to go and get yourself together. You know what I used to do? And what I still do? I light my candles at night. I make my bath water. And I put my petals in there.
Some self-care.
That's right. Some self-love. You know, I sit down. I talk to the master. You know, I ask him to open up my mind and let me not be, closed mind. I want to be open-minded.
Right.
And I'm not asking that any man that I meet that God sends my way, whenever that is, Lord, I will wait, because you know what? I've had such a horrific experience that I'm not going to accept any John or Joe or Jerry that stepped my way.
Yeah.
And I've had men say, I know that I couldn't come at you in a certain way because
and that's a good feeling.
Yeah, and that is an excellent feeling. But that's where you need to get to. But before you get there, you have to take out time for yourself, because guess what? You're hurting. I was hurting. I don't know about you.
Right.
But I hurt. Like, I was like, why would he do this to me? I'm not that. Why? I don't deserve that.
Yeah, mine was in 10 months. He brought me from up here to I could drown in an ant's piss.
Right.
That's how he made me feel, and that's how I allowed him to make me feel. And emotional abuse is worse than physical abuse. And I had to really look at myself like, what was going on with you? And I looked at my mindset, like, why did I get with him? One, I wasn't one of them sisters chasing after him. All the sisters, you've seen him when he looked like all the sisters that were single were chasing after him.
Yes.
And he came to me, so I was like, yeah, I'm the prize.
Right.
So I felt this kind of like dignified, like, yes, like you chose me.
Right.
Really, I chose you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like, oh, yay, I won. I didn't win anything.
Right.
So all you sisters who escaped him, you were blessed because I still had a lesson to learn.
And I mean that.
Yes, and so what I was saying earlier is sometimes you got to look at, there's no mistakes. That was a lesson. And trust me, I learned the lesson because I was out in 10 months. It wasn't no 8 years like the first. I was out. And I didn't go out with, oh my God, why did this happen to me? What I went out was, God, and I read 1 Corinthians 13th chapter. The whole chapter, not just that verse, the whole chapter. 3 times a day for 90 days. And I said, I do not want to be a bitter black woman. I want to talk about love and I want to love myself. And I'm not kidding. I was free. But I still took more time. I started getting back into what I like to do. You know, dancing, meeting people, and then I started getting a job. I mean, you know, making more money. Then I, you know, and everything unfolds. But I took the time, and instead of getting bitter and angry, I like you said, I invested it in me.
You have to invest it in you, and number one, and you have to let God be your man for a while. Understand?
Yeah.
I don't mean, what you mean let God be my man? I'm saying follow his word.
Yes.
Do what he promised. His word is not going to return void. It's not going to do that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is you need to invest time in yourself.
Yeah.
Start reading things on self-worth.
Yeah.
And, even in the Bible, it talks about the woman.
Yeah. Increase your stock and value.
That's right.
Because you don't have to settle for nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, ladies.
So this has been a great conversation. We can go all day.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell y'all, she didn't know this part. This is not part of the surprise where what we do on Intimate Conversations. But I'm definitely gonna bring you back. So she's gonna be a reoccurring host for Intimate Conversations. And we'll talk about more topics because I just love this woman. Oh my God. When I call, she comes. I don't know why, because sometimes I'm so self-centered. Not on purpose. But she's so loving. So I'm learning so much from her. But tell the audience where they can get your handles. Your social media handles. Like if they wanted to reach out, like for counseling, more about her documentary.
Right. Actually, we are have a business set up. It's called Diamond Boutique. Ooh. And so we do have an email that you can actually, if you want to email me and say, you know what, I'm having a hard time with blah, blah, blah. Can you offer some suggestions or some people to go to counseling for? Right. I have people all around me that specialize and have degrees for that.
Yes.
The first thing you need to do is break that cycle. Yes. You have to break the cycle. Yeah, any man can look good, in a 6-pack and a big gold chain. I mean, but
his insides is rotten to the core.
Rotten. So your email is? My email is diamondboutique, BTQ @gmail.com.
You have a website, don't you? Don't you do t-shirts?
I do t-shirts. I have not set up my website yet for that, but it's also going to be under Diamond Boutique. I do t-shirts, guys.
Yes.
And I am focusing on God's word and on empowering women. So a lot of my t-shirts that I design is directed around that.
Yes. And that'll be down in the description, her email and her information. I'm going to put that. Are you on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere?
I am not on Instagram or Facebook, but ladies, I'm going to get there. God said it's time for me to start breaking some more ground. So right now I am working on that. And no more hush. I am so excited about that documentary.
It's going to be enormous.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing because really all of us have purpose. Every single one of us. There's not one human on this earth that does not have purpose. Yes. Know your purpose. Pray for your purpose. Ask God to show you your purpose, because you are as good as gold.
Thank you for that. Okay, so we always end, well, before we end, but we always end our conversations with a little game. As you know, I'm in the entertainment business, so it's always involved around entertainment. So we're going to play a little game. You got to get 70%. The game is always around the topic, so you got to get 70% and then you'll get to choose a prize. Okay. So these are multiple choice.
Okay.
And then there's a bonus. I hope you get the bonus because I want you to know that I've been listening. Okay. Number 1. What street did I live on when you came to help me with my newborn?
Franklin.
I ain't even finished giving you the answers.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. A, 2434 Franklin. B, 2434 Williams. C, 2434 Lafayette.
Oh my gosh.
Franklin.
Franklin.
All right. Here's the rules. Listen to the answers.
Give me all the rules, guys.
Listen to the answers first.
Okay, I'm listening.
Excuse me. Just got a new bunny, so I'm allergic to the hay. I don't have it. Okay. Number 2. These two actors made their first together on-screen debut of a thug and a poet. Which is the name of the movie?
Poetic Justice.
Let me say. Okay. She didn't even hear the options.
I'm sorry, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Let me tell you the rules again.
We know you can't go on Jeopardy.
See, we be playing a lot of games at home, and so we be like, when we're playing these games, it's like, boom.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen to the answers. But, okay. Number 3. Who was our minister at our mosque in Park Hill? Brother James, Brother Wali, Brother Jamal.
Brother Jamal.
Very good. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, number 4. Although this character was not a thug, he was in love with his trumpet and shared 2 love interests that he bought a dress for. What was the name of the character and what was the color of the dress? A, Bleak Gilliam in red. B, Shadow Henderson in black. C, Giant in yellow. The name of the movie was Mo Better Blues.
The yellow guy? I don't know.
Giant in yellow?
Yeah. No. Or no.
Is that your final answer?
No.
Okay.
Can I call on help?
Nope. Since you like ding, ding, ding. I should have my buzzers. That's what my no and yes buzzers are for. All right. So A, Bleak Gilliam in red. B, Shadow Henderson in black. C, Giant in yellow.
Shadow Henderson in black.
It was Bleak Gilliam. Denzel Washington played Bleak, the trumpet, and he bought 2 dresses. The same color was red. Remember they both showed up?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 1. She only missed
And
1.
I like Denzel Washington.
I
He was
love
supposed to be
Denzel.
my husband.
Well, we gonna do a movie, Denzel. I want you to know I'm ready. I think you. I can still play your wife, your girlfriend, side chick.
Right.
Let me stop.
Y'all don't be the side chick.
I know. I gotta be number 1.
Right. I gotta be number 1.
All right, number 5. During the pandemic, what black-owned business in 5 Points did we walk to? A, Tea Leaves. B, Coffee on the Point. C, Cervantes.
Coffee on the Point.
Yes. Yay! Hey. So she's only missed 1, y'all. Only missed 1. She loves it.
How many questions is it?
10 with the bonus.
Okay.
Don't be looking either.
Okay, girl, I can't even see over that far. Okay.
Good. Number 6. What is the name of the character and street name that Omar Epps played in Too Deep, who was an undercover cop surveilling LL Cool J, who played a drug kingpin named God? What was the name of Omar Epps' character? And he also had a street name in Too Deep. Okay. And I'm going to give you 3 choices. The first one is Jeff Cole. That would be his character's name. And the street name would be Jay Reed. Letter B, Breezy T or Jay Reed. C, Wesley or Jay Reed. This is all about the street thugs. Did you realize that?
Yes, I did. Breezy?
Breezy T and Jay Reed?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
She missed 2, y'all. She missed 2.
I'm telling you, when I got away from thugs, I got away from thugs for real. I was not trying to watch no TV when they was getting beat up, none of that.
That's her excuse.
Okay.
All right.
So who was it?
Oh, the answer is Jeff Cole and Jay Reed.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, as you all know, they all said Jay Reed, so that was
okay.
Number
I
7.
haven't watched that movie in a long time.
What is the one thing that you have bad luck with? A, pets. B, cars. C, money.
Cars.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
My final answer.
Yes.
Okay. I always get messed up with a car.
You always get messed up with a car.
I promise. I promise.
Did you buy that from the dealership?
Right. I'll be like, yes.
I was like, did you get a warranty?
Man, I had to go in there acting unlike myself about my car.
Yes, you did.
But anyway.
Number 8. So you only missed 2. Only missed 2. You can only miss 3. But if you miss 4, you got a bonus to make up. Number 8. What is the name of this movie that this quote is from? Listen to the quote. Listen to the quote. All on the phone spreading my business out there. He on the other line talking about, yeah, I know you live with your mama. I don't want to hear that shit. Okay. A, New Jack City. B, Blue Hill Avenue. Or C, Baby Boy.
Baby boy.
Yeah. Mr. King.
I loved him in that
I
movie.
know. Mr. King, you got a quote from Baby Boy? You got one, got one.
Mama gotta have a life too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're rolling. Number 9. What is the name of the movie and actor with help from his friends, a Memphis pimp in a midlife crisis attempts to become a successful hip-hop MC? So we want to name the name of the movie and the actor. A, Hustle and Flow, Terrence Howard. B, Get Rich, Die or Trying. Get Rich or Die Trying. And 50 Cents. Or C, Sugar Hill and Wesley Snipes.
Hustle and Flow, Terrence Howard?
Yeah, Terrence Howard.
All right.
He said they was really poor back then.
Right. They was ghetto. I was like, ooh.
Who want to sleep with them girls?
Right. I was looking like, I don't even like him like that. No.
Yeah, you do, man.
Yeah, you do, man. Yeah, you do. I love Terrence Howard.
He's an excellent actor.
Yes.
Go ahead, Terrence.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
I would love to work along.
I would never dated you in Hustle and Flow.
Did you see that kissing scene? They were tonguing it, him and Taraji P. Henson. I mean, they were tonguing it like slobbing. I was like, oh, gross. Anyway, long time. Anyway, 10. Sugar Hill. Excuse me. Sugar Hill, a big time drug dealer who wants to do the straight and narrow, but has a hard time getting out of the game. What is the name of the character and their love interest? A, Renathan and Ella Scuggs. B, Lucky and Chantel. Or was it C, Romello Scuggs and Melissa?
Romello Scuggs and Melissa.
Ding, 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 ding. We got 80%. Okay, wait. We gotta do the bonus, because I want you to know that I'll be listening to you. Okay, so you said it's like about 2 years ago or something. Like,
Okay.
I remember when your daughter was here, you was like, we was talking about transition, and you said something like, one thing that you said you wanted to have specifically on your person while you're in the casket. There was one thing. It was big. What was that one thing?
Let me think here. Because, I'll be talking about a lot. Some of them funerals I go to, I'll be like, who did her makeup? I know she would be on fire if she was awake.
Right.
But she was sleeping. I say probably the 2 things that I would have to have for sure.
For sure.
Is my blinkers, my eyelashes, and my shoes.
Oh,
Okay.
God. She love her 4-inch stilettos. All something out the box.
Okay.
All right, bigger doesn't always mean better, but
Okay.
choose wisely. Choose wisely. Choose wisely.
I'm gonna put my little thing, my hex on it. Okay, here we go.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let me see what I got.
Oh, Sheila.
I'm broke. I hope it's some money. Is
Ooh,
some money?
I don't know. Sometimes there's money in there. Really, sometimes there is money in there.
Okay, let me see.
What do you, ooh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
Oh, congratulations. You just received a gift coupon code for Royal Blends.
Royalty.
Royalty Blends, that's right. Woo!
Throw it right here. Okay, so my friend Alicia Ashby, she has her own company called Royalty Blends, black owned. She
Wow,
does teas,
nice.
tinctures. She also does, like, she reads your birth chart if you're interested. Kind of tells you.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, she was nice enough to let me get a discount coupon for her business, so you can go online.
I am coming, girl.
Yes, and her teas are amazing.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You know, I really didn't know that the business down on 5 Points.
Coffee on the Point?
Yes, I did not know that was black owned.
Well, and there's even, if you go like about 3 blocks up or further down, tea leaves. They just do tea. Well, they have some coffee, but it's mainly tea. And they're black owned too.
Go ahead, y'all.
That's what I'm talking
My peoples!
So, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alicia Evangelist McKinney, I want to bring you back. She's going to be a reoccurring guest.
I'm so excited.
Yes, we're going to talk about some great topics. However, I want you to tell our viewers something encouraging that you would like them to know before we close out.
I know you've had some rough times in your life. Not all have been good. But just remember, it's not over yet. You stay in the fight. You keep your balance, and you do what you need to do to make sure that you're okay. And if that means taking out time for self, don't be the make-do woman. Sometimes I call myself the make-do woman because I always do before I do for myself. We ain't doing the make-do woman. Not this week. This week, you guys are going to go out and do something nice for yourself. Pray and stay in tune with God. And stay tuned.
Well, you heard it here first. Do not be the make-do woman. Stay in tune with God. That's your number one man.
Amen.
And take care of yourself. Remember to be true and stand on your truth and operate from a place of love and not fear.